I made the emotional decision to cut them off. It's been 2 years. That's like true anxiety, bro. All of a sudden you're a stud. What? Maybe you won't unsubscribe. Maybe you will. Such a good time. And I had no plans on cutting it anytime soon. Like maybe reasons to like really consider, be really sure. I'm LC. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, then welcome. And if you are returning, then welcome back. I'm like super nervous. Hello everyone. Hey, so I've been gone for almost 3 years, I think, minus the one video I posted that y'all weren't. That was definitely like a filler video. I don't know what that was. We'll get into that. This is a really awkward video for me to make. I have been pushing this video off for a long time. And I kind of want to talk about the anxiety and the judgment, whether there's real judgment or there is like perceived judgment or there is the anxiety of judgment. Like there is a universal feeling when a Black woman has worn her hair in a certain type of way, let's just say natural, for a long time, especially if she's a content creator, especially if she built her platform off of her natural hair, there is an intense feeling of internal anxiety that comes about when you decide to make a change, right? And when you decide that like for whatever reason, this hairstyle is no longer serving you. When you are a content creator, oh my God, the anxiety that I have just been carrying, maybe unnecessarily. Maybe you won't unsubscribe. Maybe you will. Maybe you already did. I'm hoping you didn't, but if you did, it's okay. I've made peace with it. But I think there's like this level of like guilt and almost like abandonment that can happen when you decide that you want change in your life. You know, there's a lot of reasons as to why I cut my locks off, and I'm going to go into those reasons in this video. But yeah, I think what I'm asking for, and you can choose whether or not you want to provide this, but what I'm asking for, I think, is like kindness, understanding, support. Yeah, good vibes, because as I have always said in my videos, especially if you are a returning subscriber, we're nice people here. This is a nice community. And so yeah, I just want to keep that energy. And if you're not really on that energy or you're like being a weirdo, there's no space. I'm sorry. I can't hold space for that. But anyways, yeah, let's get into it. So if this is your first time watching my video and you're confused as to like what the heck is going on, I have built my platform off of having locks. And all those videos are still there. They will remain there. So if you want to go through my lock journey and kind of just see what that journey was like for me, I highly encourage it. But yeah, so I started this platform to document my lock journey, and where I was in life at that moment was I was in a really weird place. I was in a really weird place for like so many different reasons, but at that time I was looking for convenience, because prior to me locking my hair, I had probably spent like 8 years natural, and I was like, you know what? I want something different with my hair. Like, I had felt like hair had become such a, how can I say? It was such a large segment of my life. It dictated my weekends. Like, I felt like it was having too large of a priority in my life in a way that like was not helpful to me. Also because it was COVID time, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate because we were all locking our hair up together. We were locking our hair up together, fam. Everybody was like, I can't do this. I was just like, I can't do this right now. Like, I actually can't. I don't have space to prioritize my hair right now every single weekend. It was just like the relationship, I feel like, was not good. It was like when you're kind of in those final 3 months of dating someone and you like know that you're not really happy anymore, but like you've put so much time into the relationship and like they're not a bad person and you know you could be with them, but like you just are like unfulfilled and like you just don't even want to work on the relationship anymore. You don't even want to do this anymore. I feel like that's where I got with my hair. I wanted to kind of be released from that and just allow my hair to kind of like do what it was created to do and still find beauty in myself and still have that confidence within myself. And I felt like starting that lock journey could really help with that because at least for me, and again, if you know, I was very humbled by my lock journey. It was a humbling experience. It took a lot of patience. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of affirmations. That's probably another reason why I had to like start making videos, because I needed to cope with the fact that I felt crazy. Okay. Here's what it is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link my lock visuals so you can watch. My journey is a journey. Okay. Some people's lock journey is like smooth sailing. No, friend. My journey was a journey. I fought a good fight. I fought hard and I prevailed. I had a great journey. Yeah, I made it to the other side and I was very happy with it. So anyways, that's why I locked my hair. Okay. Fast forward. You guys are watching. My hair is thriving. It's growing so fast. My confidence was thriving with my hair. It was such a good time with my locks. It was such a good time. And I had no plans on cutting it anytime soon. Because I really loved them, and especially when they got longer and especially when they were like really formed, I just was like loving my locks. Like we had a good relationship. You can see that within my videos. Like I loved my hair. This is going to kind of move into I think the other part of this video, which is like maybe some reasons to let go of your locks. I wouldn't say like reasons to not get locks, but like maybe reasons to like really consider, be really sure. Something that I was aware of prior to getting my locks was that I've always had dry skin and dry scalp. This has been a part of my life, my entire life. Even when I was a baby, I had extreme eczema, bad. When I was a young kid, bad. I was getting picked on for my eczema. I'm talking about like the eczema that's like all over the mouth, all over the hands, all over the arms, all over the legs. Like I would miss school because either I was too self-conscious to like go to school, or I was just like too itchy and too much in pain and like burning from eczema. And so thankfully, just as I got older and like changed some things, my eczema got a lot better. But something that never really left was like my dry scalp. And I would have moments where it would be better than other times, but like as a whole, I would have always described myself as someone that had dry scalp. And I mentioned it in like older videos, but I think that's something to really consider when you're thinking about locking up your hair is the condition of your scalp, as well as the condition of your hair, but we're specifically talking about your scalp right now. The condition of your scalp can really impact the journey for you. And if you have extremely dry scalp or seborrheic dermatitis or eczema of the scalp, or anything that causes like extreme flakage within your scalp, think about right now, like if you're not locked right now and your hair is just loose, when you're kind of scratching that dandruff out, you can just brush it or comb it out, right? Or you can just go wash it out, or like you can typically like comb it out your hair. You start with the root, you scratch at it, you get it out. When you have locks and your scalp is hella dandruffy and flaky and you're trying to get it off your scalp, you can't comb it out. You know what I mean? Like I was consistently just trying to like flake it and brush it out, which I'm sorry if this sounds gross. It's kind of grossing me out a little bit, but point is I was trying to get it out my head and not get into my locks, but it's almost impossible. It is impossible for it to not get kind of lodged into your hair and into your locks. I think at first it wasn't like a huge problem. I think the more I was oiling my scalp, because having locks, you know, you can go through like a dry period, like your hair can just maybe feel a little bit drier. And so I was over oiling my scalp. The oil was feeding the seborrheic dermatitis, feeding like the yeast in your scalp, and then causing my scalp to flare up even worse and even more. It was just getting progressively worse. And I think I just hit a point where it was like, I want to comb through my hair. Like I want to be able to get these flakes out my hair, and I cannot with these locks. I can't do it. And it was a long period. It took me a long time. I would say I went through this battle of thought for probably like 90 days. You know, I did lock detoxes or whatever. Just, it's gonna get in your locks. Like, it's gonna get in your locks, right? Like, it's gonna get in there. And it also was just really frustrating for me to not be able to really comb it out my head, and like not be able to really treat my scalp in the way that I felt like it really needed to be treated, and the way my hair needed to be treated, with it being locked. That was like one of the main motivators for me to start considering to take these locks out. And then I would say the other big thing for me was my identity, which I think is like really an interesting topic that I don't know if a lot of people talk about, but it's something that you hear. Okay, I take it back. People talk about it like internally, I think with their groups of people. I don't hear a lot of people on the internet talking about it, but I feel like, at least where I am in California, this might not be where you're at, there was a certain type of like stigma and personality trait that is put on me or assumed of me from having locks that I just didn't always connect with. And I feel like I've heard other women in different ways talk about this, whether they feel like the locks make them look way more masculine, right? Like all of a sudden you're a stud. What? Yesterday, you were Carol yesterday, but today you are Sea-Dog. I can joke like this because I'm queer, but no, for real. Like, I kind of felt bad, especially for the straight girls, because there would be some straight girls who, like, all of a sudden they get locks, and like it's just giving, like, and it's not your fault. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not everyone. It's not every girl, but there are. And if you experience it, you know, if your face ain't beat, if you don't got some lashes on, if you is dressed a little bummy, you're giving stud. You're giving stud. I'm sorry. I'll say it. You don't have to say it. I'll say it. And now, look, that wasn't like a big motivator for me. Yeah, that wasn't necessarily a problem for me. I did have times where I felt a little like, with the right chain on. Okay, let me be for real. But yeah, right? So that's like one personality type that can get put on you that maybe you don't associate with. Even if you are queer, maybe you're not trying to go for like the mask look, right? I think what I felt was getting put on me, and some of it is true, but some of it wasn't, was that I was like a waist bead, vegan, raw diet queen, grand rising type of girl. And listen, not all of that is untrue, right? Like, I do like to juice. I try to eat healthy. I'm not a raw vegan, but I do try to eat healthy. I meditate, but there was something about when I had my locks in that people perceived me in a specific type of way that it's like, that's not even me. Or like, maybe that's me on like Monday, but like, that's not me on Tuesday. Like, I'm a forever evolving, changing person. You know, that was a small part of, you know, me taking my locks out, but it was something that I just noticed. And there's positive stereotypes, right, that came with that. Being perceived as a raw vegan, lit. That means I look healthy. Being perceived as someone who's in touch with like their consciousness, that is elevated, it's connected and in tune with themselves. Beautiful. I love that. I love being perceived as that. But there's just other parts of it where it's like, like that's not 100% me, and like I know like what type of box you're trying to put me in, and like, baby, I won't fit in nobody's box ever. Like, whatever box you try to create for me, boo, I will always break out of it. I recognize all the things that play into like the thought process and my thought process, and like things that I should or should not care about. I recognize all of that, and for the most part, I don't care. But what I do care about, I care about how I feel about myself. That's what I care about. I don't care about how John, Susie, Carol, and Mark feel about me. Like in that sense, I care about how am I feeling in this room? How am I feeling as I'm doing this presentation? How am I feeling as I'm walking down the street? How am I feeling? How do I feel? And that's what's important to me. And so I just want to make sure that like I clarify that, because I think it could be a really dangerous place if you are navigating your life based off of how others perceive you, because you will forever change yourself. Forever, there will never be a perfect version of yourself that will satisfy the perception of everyone else. That'll never happen. You will forever be letting someone down. You will forever be disappointing somebody. You will forever be giving somebody the ick. You will forever just not be someone's cup of tea. And so I don't, in any shape, way, form, believe in altering yourself for the betterment of others. Unless you're like a dangerous, harmful person, that's different. But altering, your hair due to the perception of others. So like, I want to make a clear distinction that that's not what was motivating me. It was, and like, how do I want to navigate throughout the world? Like, that's really what was motivating me. And I just want to make that point. But anyways, I say 75% of it was motivated by my dry scalp. The rest was like the additional things, like the mental portion of that. Had I not had the dry scalp issues, those locks would have stayed. Let me make that very clear. I would still be locked right now if I didn't have the scalp issues. And so my plan was to comb my locks out, get my scalp right, like go to a dermatologist, get my scalp treated, get it to where it needs to be, and relock my hair. That was my plan. That's what I wanted to do. Like after the 90 days of thinking about what I was going to do, that was my plan, was to comb them out, fix my hair issue, my scalp issue, lock my hair again. However, I started combing a lock out, and it took me almost 2 hours to get this lock out. And it's a very like tedious process. My personality does not do well with like long, tedious processes. It's very, 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 very hard for me to keep at it. Torture for me. And so me combing that first lockout and it taking 2 hours, and then me realizing that I have 96 locks in my head, and I can't do that math off the top. What's that? 2 times 2 is 4. No, 96. Sorry. 2 times 6 is 12. 192 hours. 192 hours? 192 hours, I think. Gosh, I hope I'm right. Yeah, that was supposed to be 192 hours. And I didn't have 192 hours. I did not have 192 hours. I was dealing with a lot of stuff with work. I had a lot of stuff just going on in my life. And 192 hours would have been crazy for me. And I remember after I took out that first lock, I just like got kind of emotional. It's almost making me a little bit emotional right now. I'm fine, but it's making me a little emotional. I remember I was like, oh, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. This combing out process is not going to work for me. Granted, I know there are plenty of people, they are on my TikTok all the time, that spent the time to comb their locks out. And I love that. And I want it to be her. I wanted to be her. I wanted to be that girl. I wanted to be that girl so bad. I wanted to be that girl. But I couldn't be that girl. And because I know that about myself, because I know that which maybe would have taken someone 2 weeks max was going to take me 2 months, because of how much I like don't do well in those tedious environments. That was going to be a 2-month process for me that I just was like, oh no, like this isn't going to work. And so I made the emotional decision to cut them off. And yeah, that was I had so many different emotions. I will say, for one, I have cut my hair before in my life. Okay, so, and my mom's a cosmetologist. She's cut her hair like 9 times. So there was a part of me that like understood that hair grows back and has cut my hair multiple times. So it's like I wasn't super attached in a way of just like, you know, if you've never cut your hair off, that's a whole different beast, right? But it had been a while ago, but I had cut my hair. But there was something about like me cutting these locks off, not like my loose natural hair, that was just like, felt like failure to me in a way that like cutting my hair had never felt. Because any other time I cut my hair in the past was like, I just wanted a pixie cut, or, you know, I kind of burnt my ends a little bit and like I want to start over, or just want something different, whatever. But this felt like a failure. It felt like I had been trying to climb up this mountaintop and now I'm just giving up. And like when I originally was going to comb them out, that offered a bit of like emotional cushion, because I was like, okay, it's fine. It'll probably take 2 months for me to get my scalp together. I will relock my hair. My hair, if anything, is just longer now than it was before. We're Gucci. Like, chilling. But when it was like, no, you about to be bald headed. You about to cut all these off. They're going in the trash. You're about to have no hair. And all that work that you've done, like, there is no coming back. If you want to come back, you're going to have to get these little tiny little lots. Yeah, it just kind of felt like this defeat. Like I feel like I had a very like defeatist type of attitude. That was hard for me. But they're also, I think, again, like my biggest motivator typically is going to be like the health of something. So if the health of my scalp is not good, or like whatever, like, then I'm gonna let it go, right? And I knew how unhappy me not being able to really just like clean my head and like clean my hair the way I want, like I knew just what that was doing to me. It was really bothering me, that I was just like, no, I'm going to cut it. So I cut my locks off. This was 3 years ago, I think. No, 2 years ago. I think I cut my hair 2 years ago. I'll insert the date. And I was just like so afraid to come back on here. I was just like, oh my God. I think the biggest fear that I have is like, and this is like just me as a human being, and like things that I have to like work through, or things that I have worked through and will be continuously working through, is like this fear of like letting someone down, right? And I think like because we have such a community here, I wouldn't say they started their locks because of me, but there were a lot of people that, at least what they were expressing in the comments, is that I was a motivator for them. I was helping them get through their lock journey. Like they were gaining more confidence in their starter lock phase by watching me. And so I think when I just cut all of them off, and like there wasn't really the avenue for me to just like, you know, twist all my hair up and put them back in, I was like, oh my God, like everyone's gonna unfollow me. You know, these, like, I see you all, although I don't know you guys and like we've never spoken or anything, I feel a sense of community with all of you. It's like a familial type of feeling, because I know that we are either all locked, or we're considering locks, or, you know, we're just within various like natural hair journeys, that I felt like I'm going to lose my community. They're going to leave. And yeah, I think like that just made me like really sad and really scared. Yeah, I was afraid that you guys wouldn't like me anymore. I was afraid that I couldn't sit with you guys anymore. And I think because I knew like how badly I had wanted to like keep my hair, and just like, you know, just how much I loved my locks, it just like, I feel like I also had like let myself down, and it was just like a lot of weight that I was putting on myself unnecessarily. And it brought me so much anxiety. And I think as a person that kind of already has anxiety, that extra layer makes me retreat and to like stay away. And that was my goal with this, was like, well, maybe if I just never come back, they won't hate me, right? But also, like, I miss YouTube so much. But like, I love YouTube. Like, this is like kind of where I feel the most comfortable. This is like my safe space. I love vlogging. I love, like, you know, making content for you guys. And so I kind of just hit the point where I was like, you know what? We have to come back. And if there's people that don't rock with you anymore, if there's people that don't want to subscribe to you anymore, you're gonna just have to let that happen. Like, the people that are wanting to be part of this new journey of your life and this new journey of your page and like the new content that's coming, like, those people will come and they'll show up, and like, it'll be a new sense of community, and there'll be new people and still positive energy. And the people that are like, I'm not following her anymore, okay. And I just had to kind of hit that point, and I've hit the point, which is why you're watching this now, because I have just accepted it, and I've given myself enough time. Like, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. That's like true anxiety, bro. Like, to disappear and then to just drop a video. I just dropped that video of me dyeing my hair black, I think, just to like test the waters. I don't really know what it was. I don't know. But like, even that video that I posted a couple months ago, that's an old video. Like, obviously. Yeah. Anyways, this was a video that was kind of all over the place. I recognize that. But it was a necessary video. I like can't move on. I can't rebrand. I can't make all this content that I want to make for you guys. Like, I can't do all the things that I want to do if I don't like talk to my people first and like just be vulnerable and like share what's been going on, and then allow you guys to all make your decision and then move on with my life. And that's where I'm at now. So yeah, I will have a separate video, but I have a separate rebrand video that's going to really just kind of reintroduce you guys into like where I'm at in my life right now, which I just love that. Can I just say I love that so much? I love the process of like self-evolution. I love the process of like rebranding, reforming, restructuring, evolving. I love it so much. I think that is literally the best thing about being a human and just being alive. Like I think we take that for granted so much, that you are forever changing and evolving. And sorry, my camera died, so I had to reposition us. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to just quickly get into this, and then I will wrap up the video. But every 7 years, you become a new version of yourself, right? I can't say this is 100% fact, but it makes perfect sense to me. I mean, I think you're consistently becoming a new version of yourself, but there are distinct, monumental life events, changes, mental structural changes, emotional changes, life changes that kind of take place every 7 years. And when I was reading this, it was in the context of dating someone and like long-term relationships and marriage, which I kind of want to make a separate video about. But it was basically just talking about like needing to choose to love this person in all of their various forms, because you're forever, changing. Like every 7 years, you're a whole new person. You're completely different from the person you were 7 years ago. And like choosing to still love that person, marry that person, be married to that person, continue life with that person. Like you need to consistently like choose that person and consistently like decide if these two new people are still compatible and willing to go on like another 7 years or whatever. But I think that can be applied in like the context of life in all different ways. And I think I'm kind of applying that to like my business, and I'm applying that to this channel. And although I've had this channel way longer than 7 years, let's start there. I actually started this channel when I was 18 years old. But even with like where we've been from like when I first started my locs till now, I'm very much so a different person than the girl that first made that first video of me like locking my hair or giving like my updates. Like, I'm such a different person. Parts of her still very much so exist to me, right? But there's also new parts of me that you guys have never met because I haven't been recording, that I'm still meeting within myself. And sorry, I'm talking really fast. What you are recognizing in me right now is the fact that I'm a social major, and this type of conversation gets me hype. So let me woosah. My point is, you are consistently changing, and I think that's beautiful, and I want to embrace that on my channel and embrace various versions of myself, rather than hiding from it, and rather than that bringing anxiety within me, or rather that scaring me. I want that to be like a motivator, and I want that to be very encouraging for me to just continue to make content and hopefully get even more people that want to be part of this community that also support that, because I think that will very much so be the theme of my channel, is self-evolution, and just evolving. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. And I wanted to just add that piece because I think it was really important. But I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.